that, then their sexual dysfunction is taken care of.
I could just hear a man out there saying, just give me an erection. I don't care about my heart, my circulation. What do you tell them?
Well, that is, if you're looking for a quick and easy type of answer, then this isn't the place for them. And quite frankly, it usually doesn't take that long to actually get these types of things fixed. And not only does it affect your erection, but it also affects your overall health and well-being. If you are dependent upon a drug for an erection, you're probably not feeling well anyway. Your energy's low, your performance in not only just in bed, but also in other different types of ways isn't up to par. Your work is sure suffering.
Well, they look so healthy on TV.
I know. They pick guys that probably have never had an erection problem in their life. Those are probably the least, difficult types of situations. They got these men that, out there and, they're single-handedly on the ranch, single-handedly pulling, a team of horses by their arms, And that's not usually the guys who need that.
Right. We should put a commercial out there. Oh, okay.
But, there are very natural types of ways of doing it. And one of the things is as you utilize those things, it becomes a common type of thing. I mean, I've had, a lot of men come in, I've been stressed a lot. My sexual performance has really dropped. A very common type of thing that we see a lot. But they're stressed in a lot of different other types of ways. They're not sleeping as well. It's showing up in a lot of things that are going on. So as we can get their whole system balanced out, not only is their sexual performance improving, their sleep's improving, they're not as cranky, they're able to think better, they're able to actually put in a full day's work. Life is actually working for them. So looking at this in a much more broad type of sense is a much more permanent way of actually looking at it and keeping their health up.
Right. So sexual libido is very important to someone's health. It's a big indicator of your health.
It's a huge indicator.
Right. I want to just reiterate that.
Right. And if that is actually failing, then, we do probably have some health issues that are going on.
And what's so interesting, too, I think to a woman, I'm speaking for women out there, too, is I know for you, I can just tell, I don't know if those pheromones going on or whatever, or you're not thinking clearly. And as soon as you have sex, life is just
peachy keen.
Peachy keen. It's like, okay, what just happened?
My hormones got balanced.
Let me say,
my cortisol level has
tonight
dropped.
I have to get my hormones balanced, honey.
Ooh, that's a line.
Well, let's talk about sex. Can it be harmful to you?
Well, yes. I mean, the thing about sex is you want to. I mean, you can't overdo anything. Everything has to be in balance. And what is a healthy amount of,
Well, let's talk about pornography then.
Okay.
Is where pornography
that
would
is
come
a
in?
very, very good point. Because they have found that pornography actually cuts down on your libido. Having a two-dimensional type of an object that you're concentrating on actually changes the way that men actually view and actually operate. So there is actually a decrease in one's, whereas with a sexual partner, you actually have an imbalancing of what's going on in your system. There's actually can be an addictive type of quality to that. There is a definite decreased sexual performance. There's definitely decreased sexual, health that's involved with that. So pornography in and of itself is not something that is helpful.
I don't know if you have any statistics about it, but I know it's just on a rampage, pornography, right now.
Interestingly enough, 50% of all money made through the Internet is through pornography. The pornography industry on the Internet alone is bigger than all the ABC, NBC, Fox, all put together.
Wow.
About 25% of all men regularly actually get on with pornography, about 8% of women.
Mm-hmm.
It is probably one of the most common things that are gone in for sexual addiction for seeing a psychiatrist. Basically, they consider that if you're doing a average sexual addict for pornography can be spending 40 hours a week
Oh my gosh.
on internet pornography.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that there are neurophysiological changes that take place. There's a decrease in the hormonal levels, and the ability to actually respond to a real woman actually decreased quite a bit. Also, there's a very direct correlation between violence, because oftentimes it's a violent type of thing. And as I said, the brain is a big computer, and your sexual response is something that you program into it. So if you program the right things, you're going to get the right responses. If you program the wrong things, then you're going to get the wrong responses.
Mm-hmm.
So programming a healthy sex life is a very important type of thing. The only way that you do that is through contact with a real woman. Mm-hmm. And learning how to respond to her, because it's different than pornography.
Right.
Pornography is geared towards men, not towards women.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have a question for Dr. Prather about today's show? Go to the voiceofhealthradio.com to ask your question on our Facebook page and watch Dr. Prather's video answers to your questions. And those are videos of you talking, right? You're listening to the Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather.
The Voice of Health Wellness Tip with Dr. Robert Prather of Meridian Health and Wellness. In honor of National Heart Month, Meridian Health and Wellness is offering a full heart evaluation at the special price of just $85. Dr. Prather, what 5 tests will be included in the heart evaluation?
EKG, a Doppler spirometry, acoustic cardiograph, and a cardiocess.
Can you tell us a little bit about each of those tests?
Certainly. The EKG, everyone is aware that actually measures the electrical current around the heart. Very important type of a test along those lines. A Doppler is actually there to measure the blood flow to make sure that there isn't any blockages in the arteries. And then also we have a spirometry testing, which actually measures the lung function to make sure that the respiratory component is actually working. Acoustic cardiograph actually measures the valves of the heart, which is a very important part of the functioning of the system. And then also we have something called a cardiocess. And what that measures is your cardiorespiratory efficiency, how well you can actually process and utilize the oxygen in the body and getting rid of the carbon dioxide. It's a very important test and actually a very good indicator of the health and well-being and the chances of a cardiovascular problem that might occur.
And who should get the heart evaluation?
The heart evaluation should be done by anyone over the age of 50. That should
men or women?
Men or women should actually be getting that done to see who might be at risk, and that should be something that is recommended on an annual basis.
Mm-hmm. So that $85 includes 5 of these tests?
All 5 of those tests. It does take about an hour and a half to do those, but very, very important and something that we would like to really promote because, of course, cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer. And for you and your loved ones, that's one of the best things that should be done.
And then you review the tests with them at a
And then that
different
also
date.
includes a review of all the findings on that.
Okay. Well, arm yourself with information on how your heart is performing and discover any possible precursors that require further attention. Schedule your full heart evaluation at Meridian Health and Wellness for just $85 in honor of National Heart Month. This special low price is even covered by Medicare and most private insurance plans. Connect with our office at 317-848-8048. That's 317-848-8048. Or learn more on the web at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me.
Welcome back to The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather. I'm Lisa Prather, and we're talking today about sexual health. And Frank Sinatra, you know, if you're listening out there, you husbands want to get your wife in the mood, play Frankie. That'll get her in the mood. Okay. So we were talking before we went to break about pornography. You know, and I'm thinking, what's that stat again? How many men? What was the percentage?
24%.
24. So
Around
we
24%.
probably have listeners out there right now that struggle with pornography.
Mm-hmm.
How can the Prather Wellness help? How can more structure function medicine help?
Sure.
For someone in
Well,
that
I mean, one
situation?
of the things, of course, is if there is an addiction, psychologists, psychiatrists, you know, also talking to them about that.
Mm-hmm.
But with almost everything that we have, there are different types of products that you can take that do actually help, and we've had some very, very good success.
Mm-hmm.
There are several different homeopathics that are actually specifically for that.
Mm-hmm.
Homeopathics are a vibrational type of medicine, and we use quite a few of those for a lot of different types of psychological disturbances with some very good results. Also, we have products that are specifically for addiction, all sorts of addiction, and then also auricular therapy
Mm-hmm.
for addictive types of reactions, and also some acupuncture along those lines, with a very, very good proven track record.
Talk about auricular therapy, because I know it's very powerful in addiction, different addictions.
Yeah, Dr. Norgay, one of the brain surgeons who actually did a mapping of the brain. He was a French brain surgeon, one of the top 3 in the world. As he took off people's skulls and mapped out their brains, one of the things he was into was auricular therapy. Very familiar with that. It's a very strong French type of a treatment. So he stimulated different points on the ears and mapped how it actually affected the brain. So it's actually probably the most proven scientific therapy in the entire world on how exactly it responds. So there are different points that are known to actually work with addictive reactions, personalities that have some very strong effects on whatever addiction someone is actually dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that we do offer here, and with some excellent results.
Okay, well, let's talk about infertility and sex. Infertility seems to be on the rise. So let's talk about that.
Well, one of the things is chlamydia is a very big reason for infertility. It's a very insidious type of a sexually transmitted disease, and it is something that damages the fallopian tubes, and that's one of the leading causes of infertility. So again, having monogamous relationships is very important to prevent infertility. One of the things that is very true is a woman who doesn't have an orgasm has more difficulty actually conceiving, because the orgasm actually has a very strong stimulation. And recent research has actually shown that a woman who actually has an orgasm during sex is about 80% more likely to actually be able to conceive.
Well, let's talk about women and their orgasm, because don't you have a stat there about, you know, we see on TV or movies, you know, people think that men and women have their orgasms at the same time.
Sure.
But really, statistically, it's
Right.
very different.
It's something that actually about 60% of the women aren't going to have an orgasm just through vaginal sex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're talking about most of the sensitivity for women is the clitoris, and clitoral stimulation is one of the ways that most women actually do have orgasm.
That's kind of like our penis.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And they've actually shown that there's a connection to actually a woman's, I mean, the clitoris is just the tip of the iceberg, as we can say.
Uh-huh.
that the